Hey Chris, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
All right, good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, you could just stay on audio only. I mean, just hearing any insight that you could give on Brian would be great.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when the
You
news broke, it was surreal just, seeing his face and just you just kind of close your eyes and you start recounting everything in high school. Like you don't remember things that happened in high school until the person's brought up and then all these,
Right.
events start to come together. And I
of
mean,
course.
I just haven't really been outspoken about what I think because what I think isn't what everybody is claiming. Um, so
I'd
I've
like
kind
to
of been
hear
a
it.
little
I mean,
quiet.
did you go
So
through
I'm
all
yeah,
grade
I'm
school with him?
yeah, I'm 29. He was 28. Like I said, I've known him since he was a lot heavier, which he's not heavy now, but he was very big in grade school. Um, he got picked on. Everybody got picked on. I got picked on when I was in school. I don't think that attributed to like what occurred because nothing in high school gave anything away. I mean, he started losing weight, started getting confidence. He was dating girls, and I was just
Okay.
kind of looking from the outside in,
No,
proud
listen,
of
that's
him.
cool. I mean, it's good
You
to
know,
good to hear.
yeah,
You saw like it was basically like a 180. He lost weight, became confident,
yep,
started to approach girls.
yep, yeah. So,
Okay.
like I said,
And did he have a steady girlfriend that you knew of?
um, yeah, I remember him dating this one girl for a while. But I just, like I said, I just always remember him after he lost weight. He was very, just a lot more vocal, a lot more, just outgoing. Um, but always had that kind of, I guess, blank stare or monotone voice, and that's been him since he was however years old. That didn't just
Listen,
happen.
that doesn't make somebody a killer. So I understand exactly what
Exactly.
you're saying.
No.
I
Yeah.
totally understand. I know the girl who I guess you also went to school with that was out. I forget her name. Uh,
Casey Arns.
yeah, that's it. She said, like he always had that dead stare. That she remembers that's
Yep.
how she kind of described, his stare that he had. And did you know him when he was messing around with drugs? Did you know anything about that?
I actually do not, but I know I actually am very still good friends with the person that he did drugs with. I guess
Okay.
towards the end of high school, um, and but I guess he got off. I mean, what I was told is he got off the drugs, and I mean, to be on that kind of drugs and to be able to get through college and going for your
But no,
PhD is
no,
very tough.
Absolutely.
I agree 100%. That's why I said, and even Aspen that's on here, so
Hey there, by the way.
he might have started to use maybe Adderall or an
Right.
Yeah.
upper. Like you're hearing how the lady living underneath him, who's also a
Hmm.
PhD student, said how he was always cleaning late at night. So there could
Yeah.
have been some kind of other thing being used. To
And I,
listen to go to school this long and function
Yeah.
being a heroin addict would be almost impossible.
right.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah. And that's why, like I said, and just seeing all the speculation, everybody's saying this, saying that, but actually knowing the person, I guess, has put me in a position of like, I'm just waiting
No,
for the
yeah.
evidence.
Right.
No, yeah. I listen. I could totally understand where you're coming from. Like this is hearing this that this week is like out of left field for you and everybody that knew him. It's
Yeah.
like boom. It's like
Right.
what because
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
sure
me and my daughter, see,
everybody.
I live
Yeah.
about an hour away currently from where I grew up there in Effort, PA, but me and my daughter went up there for Christmas and we were about, I don't know, a mile and a half from
Right.
where he was arrested. I've been in that community probably over 100 times. My best friend lives in that community.
Yeah, it's a nice
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah, very nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
So again, his mother worked at the school. I don't know if you guys know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like was she a sub or was she a
Yeah,
full
she yeah
time
she was
sub?
a sub. Nothing. She wasn't like an actual teacher, but I remember her
Right.
distinctly. Very nice woman. Um,
That's what the people have said. She was very nice.
so all the talk about mother problems and stuff like that. That's false. This
And I don't know if you listened to the whole stream. And people are even bringing up, oh, the parents had a bankruptcy. That has
no.
nothing to do with
No, no,
any
no. He
Lots,
didn't
of
lots
kill
of
for
that.
stuff.
money.
He,
He didn't kill for
yeah,
money. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. You gotta,
no,
Did he ever
no.
get in
But
trouble?
that's
Like when
again,
you were during school, did he ever get in trouble
No,
for
like I
anything?
said, man, he was just very. I mean, he must have been top 10, maybe even top five of
Okay.
his class as far as academics go.
yeah.
Cool.
That's why
Even
this is so
I don't know
mind
if you
blowing.
heard, yeah, if you heard his master's professor yesterday, She said he was pretty much her best student, highly intelligent. She's only helped 2 people in her, I think, 9-year career at the college. She's only helped 2 people get into a graduate program, and he was one of them. So it tells you he was highly intelligent. He was very motivated. You know, people are taking that Reddit thing he put out that he was asking questions on as like, oh, he was trying to get in the mindset of a killer, but it was actually for his thesis.
To me, I think he was just doing what he was asked to do in class. Like, I mean,
it was part of his thesis, she said.
Yeah, I guess I'm just looking at this as if he had this much knowledge in how to, you know, get away with this, not get away with that. Wouldn't he have like done a lot of things differently? Like, got rid of the car or made an excuse to his parents to sell the car, trade the car, something, fly across the country instead of driving across the country in the murder vehicle. Just, I don't know. A lot just doesn't add up.
I think he drove it home, and his dad came. Maybe that wasn't the plan for the way he was coming home, but he wanted to get the car out of there.
Yeah,
I think it's I saw the file, November 16th, he had the plates changed to Washington plates. So 3 days after the murders, the plates were changed from, because maybe in his mindset is, you know, if a camera caught it, maybe they didn't see it was from Philly, but they knew it wasn't a Washington plate. Now I get a Washington plate, and plus they were looking for 2011 to 2013. His was a 2015.
And I doubt he planned on that.
So a lot of things in his mindset were in his favor by changing the plate.
Gotcha. Okay. See, I didn't even know they had a plate.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they did. I just know he changed his plate.
Gotcha.
16th. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he. Of course, he's innocent until he's proven guilty. But you know, I'm like, he also probably could have gotten some confidence from the fact that, I mean, clearly the whole world was focused on these other people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just like I said, if somebody's studying how to commit the perfect murder, you don't go to class the next day. And I guess my big question I asked in the chat before I got on here was, if somebody went in and murdered 4 people and walked out, there has to be some kind of trace of blood in the car. Even if he cleaned it with the best cleaner in the world, that stuff does not go away. Well,
did you hear what I said that I watched them take out of the house? They took a pretty large cardboard box of foot covers.
Right. So booties.
Did he go there planned, you know, with foot booties and a suit on, and took it off in that? Because listen, we saw drone footage the day after from aerial view. You didn't see any blood. You know, I'm not saying that you're going to see a lot of blood, but you saw distinctly. You saw the whole area, and nothing was seen as to any trail of what, you know. You murder 4 people, you're going to have blood on your shoes.
Yeah, somewhere.
You know, so, you know.
And I guess the defensive wounds, I mean, if you know, when you're I'm trying to fathom how somebody can stab 4 people.
This is a mind-blowing thing. And you're trying to digest it as, I knew
because
this.
I mean, if I felt a stab wound, I'm punching, I'm scratching somebody's face, I'm doing something. So if somebody had defensive wounds and he just sits in class the next day and nobody's like, hey, what happened to your, you know, people are just saying he was different after the murders. Nobody said he got any kind of wounds on him.
Yeah.
He had gloves on in the.
But it's not like he could also hide in class, because he was also in front of the class as a teacher's assistant. He was running a class, so it's. Not
I understand he wore. I mean, they're saying he wore gloves. I don't think I heard he wore gloves in class, because that's a dead giveaway.
It was.
Or he could have kept his hand in his pocket. You never know.
Gotcha.
It was. I guess it was in the area of Pennsylvania where he was being followed before they did the search warrant on that. You know, the arrest warrant on the house.
Gotcha.
That was when he was wearing gloves, supposedly in a grocery store.
Yeah, and that in itself, I don't really have an explanation for, other than being a clean freak. But I don't see that. You know,
I think he was trying. You know, he might have knew something might have tipped him off that they were closing in on him, and he might have been trying to hide touch DNA. That he would touch something, they would take it for evidence and run it. You know, you never know what the mindset could be.
But why? But I guess why let him? I mean, if you have any kind of evidence on him, why let him drive across the country with? I know it's his dad, with a potential victim.
They might have been waiting for, you know, immediate labs to come back.
Yeah,
gotcha. You know? Okay.
Depending on, it sounds like that they were tipped off to him within the last 10 days.
Right.
So you figured, you know, by the time they were able to, because I think they used some kind of genealogy to get the hit.
That's right. Yeah,
towards him, towards his family. So, you know, there's a lot at play, and that's why they tailed him the whole way back. I mean, at this, you know, even if you suspected of committing, you know, quadruple homicide, highly doubtful that you're going to kill your dad. You know, that's they had, you know, and I'm sure they had wiretap on him. They had GPS on him. So they were,
I'm sure as soon as he started driving east with his dad, I'm sure they knew
were on him
where he was headed.
Yeah. And I'm sure they had a wiretap where they were listening to his convo with his father. And, you know, they were trying to see if there was any kind of friction there, possibly that, do we have to take him now or wait?
Yeah. You know? Or if his dad was involved or anything like that, which personally, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, I don't think so either. You know, listen.
Because I think if his parents were involved, they would have got rid of that car after he called them. They would have done something with the car because they own the car, I think.
I mean, it's terrible that, you know, the way social media is, the way YouTube is, you know, his parents are getting hammered in the court of public opinion.
I hate to see it, man. Like I said, just
I do too. I do too.
I mean,
I'm retired law enforcement.
Yeah.
I'm retired law enforcement, and it drives me crazy when I see the family of anybody who's a suspect getting attacked. You know, even some of the family of the victims were getting attacked.
Yeah,
it's
even law enforcement was getting attacked for not releasing too much information. Doesn't, you know?
They got destroyed, and I said it from day one. They're working. As soon as the bodies were found, they exited. They got a search warrant for the house. They did everything right. To get everything possible out of there without making any mistakes. The only mistake to me was not getting the cars out of there for 16 days. Yeah. They should have got the cars out and processed them. They waited till it started to snow 16 days later, and that's when they removed them. I'll call it. I'll call it like it is. I mean, that was a mistake. They should have got the cars out first. They should have not let the cops basically park in the crime scene. You know, whoever was sitting on the house, he was in the crime scene. And I know it's cold, you know, that's why it was that way, so that he could document everybody coming and going. That's what you have to do. You got to keep a log. But at the end of the day, you got to stand there. You can't have a vehicle basically inside the crime scene.
It really is crazy that we also live in a world where a crime goes unsolved for 47 days and people are like, it's cold.
It's cold. I mean, what?
Like 47 days is nothing.
There's stuff that hasn't even come back yet. Like, give them time. But what does this guy know about Bryan? Well, he was a classmate.
Like I said, I can't tell you much up until I graduated. That's really all I know.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
You know, it's just like I said, when you know, if I didn't know this person, I would probably be bashing this person as well. But when you actually know this and know the family, and you know, I just feel bad for his mother. I know like I said, I just know she was a great woman. You know,
I totally understand where you're coming from, because to you, it's an absolute shock. To the people you went to school with, this is a shocking. It's like, holy shit.
I mean, the news is coming after people that were, the news is like interviewing people that were 2 years ahead of him that really didn't even know him. And they're just saying that.
They'll do anything to get an interview with him.
Oh, it's insane. You know,
I mean, look, I don't know if you've watched my channel before, but I had the neighbor, Jeremy, on twice, and he was getting hammered as he was the suspect because he talked to the media a few times. Like,
and that's why I haven't, like, you know, I don't want that. I don't need to be that person that wants to be whatever, you know. It's just, if you guys ask me to talk, I'll talk to you. I have no problem. I just, you know, I don't want to say something that makes me on his side, everybody thinks, and then now people are looking I'm just kidding, you know.
Retired law enforcement, I totally get what you're saying. This is a shock to you. That a guy you basically grew up with, even though he was a year behind you.
Yeah.
I could totally relate to what you're saying. Like, somebody I went to high school with that ends up is the suspect arrested in a quadruple homicide across the country.
It would be more alarming if you weren't.
It's like,
like, it would be more alarming if everyone was like, oh yeah, I saw it coming. You know.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And I think pretty much everybody that's spoken has said, like, you would never. Yes, I mean, were there little things that were different about him, but nobody would have thought that this was going to be the outcome.
No, like I said,
especially going for his doctorate.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, if you gave me the list of the 500-600 kids that graduated in that school in that year, you know, I could probably point. You know, I could list the ones that I think are capable of this. He would probably be close to maybe last in the list, just because of how academic he was, how, you know, like losing so much weight and gaining confidence, and like just seeing him turn his life around. And then to hear this, it's like, what happened? You know, it's, I don't know.
No, it's honestly great to hear from you, because it really gives gives us a lot to go from, because you're hearing a lot of things,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
you don't know which
And like I said,
what
I
is
just
true and
remember,
whatnot.
I played baseball in Pleasant Valley my whole life. So we worked out at the gym every day after school, us, the team. So he would always come in there with, I can't remember his name, but they would always sit over in the corner and work out, and he would come in, work out. And then you just saw over time, he gradually lost the weight, gained confidence, was a different person. And that's all I really remember. That's why this is so shocking. So if it comes out that he did this, then anybody I ever meet in my whole entire life from now on is possible. Yeah, is capable of this.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you and your friends have like anyone you're still in contact with from I'm sure you've all been talking about this since.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I mean, is there anyone from your that you went to school with that
yeah
still good friends with it?
Yeah, the woman that they so as I told you earlier, Mike, his name is Mike. He was really good friends. I think he still was really good friends with Bryan throughout high school. I guess after high school they hung out, and he told me that they would hang out. Everything was normal, and I guess I don't think it was too recent, but I'm going to say maybe 5-6 months ago. I think they hung out. Everything was fine.
Yeah, spring before the summer.
Yeah,
because he left in August to go.
Yeah, he came back August 21st.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't want to give his last name, but him and Mike, I guess, were really close. I'm a lot closer to Mike than I was to Bryan, but I got information from Mike just, because we were talking about, everybody was hitting me up about the news is coming after them, news is knocking on their door. And I'm like, Jesus mighty. Like, I'm just waiting for a knock on my door, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
I hear you.
They get those yearbooks, and they're going to go through every name they can.
You said there were 500 kids in each class. That's a
well, I graduated. Yeah, I graduated with about, I think, 500 and change, or about 600 and change in my class. Yeah, it was
What's the school district called? That's a big class.
Pleasant Valley School District.
Pleasant Valley School District. Okay.
Yeah, and then before that, it was Pleasant Valley, the middle school, which is right next to the high school. So, like I said, I've known him since he was big. He was big, and then he was really shy, and then like I said, he just transformed into how he looks now. And so, I think if it would have stuck that way,
mention anything about his diet,
right?
I know there's a lot. His aunt that was married to, I guess, his dad's brother.
Mm-hmm.
She's not married to him anymore, but she described he's vegan. And he also was into fasting. There's only times of the day he would eat, and there's other days where he wouldn't eat. So he had a very, very strict kind of diet, and he wouldn't.
Yeah, I heard. I heard he made his parents not only just scrub all the pots as hard as they could at his home when he went home, but he made them all buy new silverware, new everything.
Yeah, he wouldn't eat out of anything that
almost like kosher
involved.
Yeah. So that was, like I said, that's the stuff. There's stuff that obviously I don't know about him. I didn't know about him that I'm learning now. I just know the person up until I was 18 years old and graduated.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you came on.
Was he particular?
If anybody else,
and then was he particular? Was he did he exhibit anything with OCD or
Yeah. He was very regimented, I guess, if you want to call it that. He wanted to always get good grades, always studying, always trying to. He was just very smart. That's how I would take it. If somebody asked me about him and this didn't happen, I would just say exactly what I'm telling you guys now. He was smart. He was heavy. He lost a lot of weight, gained confidence. And to me, I thought he was going to go on and be a doctor or something like that. And now here we are. Wow. So
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So every day I'm getting messages of people that are talking to the woman Ashley yesterday. She called me she texted me after and she's like, "Hey, can I call you?" And she called me and she told me three newscasters knocked on her door and they shouldn't even know where she lived. And, she gave accounts of what she remembers and they kind of twisted it around a little bit, she said. So that's why I'm not, keen on talking to the news about, because anything I say is not going to, I don't know if anything I say is going to help anything because, it's not negative. It's not anything that's going to,
I think that's great. I think just giving just insight into, into, you know, what the person you knew is important. You know, it doesn't have to be the same thing that everyone else is saying, because it's what you knew.
Yeah, but like he said earlier, you know, I think people are more scared to talk because they don't want to be labeled as whatever, you know, and then people come after them because they said this. So it's just really, you know, it's a troubling and scary time, because I want closure for, you know, the 4 families, and seeing this person that I knew possibly commit this, it's mind-boggling. You know, and it puts you in a different state of mind, rather than seeing somebody you don't know on TV that committed something like this. So, you know, I can't see the chat. I apologize if anybody's, criticizing me from what I said, but
I highlighted some stuff. No, people are saying that they totally, you know, they understand what you're saying. And they're like, we would never attack you for, you know, feeling the way you do, which makes sense, you know. I got a great group of people that follow the channel.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to follow you from now on. Like, 'cause this is my first time popping in. I just wanted to see the hearing, because I'm just waiting for, you know, like I'm sure everybody is waiting for. Hear more. Yeah, I just want to know what they found.
Yeah, once he gets to Idaho and they give him his arrest, you know, they serve him with the, you know, the arrest affidavit, then the probable cause will be released, and we'll know more within the next 24 hours. We
still won't know everything,
you know, a lot more.
Yeah. But now if he goes there and says that he wants to fight the extradition, then everybody has to wait, I'm assuming.
Well, no, he's, I think, as far as we know, he's waived the extradition.
Yeah, so it's already okay. Great. Said, even late last night, I think the attorney spoke, and he said that you know, he is willing to waive it, and he wants to resolve this as quick as possible, is what his attorney says.
Gotcha. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But thanks for coming on. And if you know anybody else, you have my email. You know, if anybody wants to come on anonymously,
if your buddy Mike wants to come on.
Yeah, my buddy Mike, like he's just really shooken up and just you know, in disbelief.
I totally get it. I totally get it. Have him listen to this, and if he feels comfortable, you know, we can reach out.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much, Chris.
You gentlemen have a good day.
Yeah, hey, thank you for coming on.
Thanks.
All right, see ya.
Yeah, God bless.
Nice guy, very nice guy.
I mean, you know, and of course, you know, there's the human factor, because even though presumably, you know, if he's guilty of this, you know, he's got a whole lot of people. It's totally
understandable to relate to what he's saying. You know,
right?
It's so understandable to relate to him saying, like, you know, this is beyond me. I just, you know, I totally get it.
I said the same thing about. I've always said that. You know, you said the same thing with Kathy Allen in Delphi.